man walk around with a clipping, a newspaper clipping in his pocket.
Oh, that's the spelling bee champ.
Spelling bee champ.
I was proud of that. Young black man.
Flash the spelling bee champ.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? I'm a spelling bee champ. Of course, I got the trophy.
He dope though. He dope.
Listen. I
throw a word at him. Throw any word at him.
I can't say anything, but
I'm saying you get busy.
You can throw a word. I could, this. That's why I say that. This what we're doing right here, bro. I'm saying thing, man. This is like, yo, son. I'm crying. This is what it is, yo. This is journalism. Always like that. Could have been a liar. Could have been a doctor. You understand?
You could have been a lawyer. You could have been a liar.
Yeah, you know that.
At the end of the day, it's to your discretion. Now, if you tell that person no, that person will probably appear not to have an attitude, but some more than likely, people that feel as though they had that sense of entitlement, they will wear their emotions and their feelings on their shirt. Anyway, you will be able to tell if that person and their feelings behind the answer that you gave them, which isn't the answer that they wanted. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just so many dimensions to this entitlement thing. People entitled with relationships, entitled with kids thinking that they can just do what they want to do, entitled all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, every day you might deal with somebody that's self. Us don't think about the future. A lot of us don't think about, what we need to do to secure situations just in case modes. I build on something last week when we were talking about the job situation, and we was talking about how a lot of us, we just do day for day checks or whatever, week for weeks or bi-weekly checks. No one wants to get a career. No one wants to get become an entrepreneur, or they have dreams of doing it but never push themselves or have anyone in their corner to push them. No one wants to deal with salary. Everybody just want to run and get a paycheck, and then you living from paycheck to paycheck. But when you do the math for real, something's going to be led astray. Some bill going to come up short, and then here you go, be playing catch up. So what are we going to do? What's the things to do that's important to secure a situation for you? We can talk about securing a bag and making sure you got a few dollars in your pocket, something for the rainy day or whatever. But what about when it's time to retire? And the reason why I'm talking about this is because for the most part, I just turned 50. I just turned 50 this Tuesday that just passed. And I enjoyed myself. I really had a great time. To my family, man, God bless my family, because they show love, and they still showing love right now. Just like the party won't stop. They won't let the party stop. They just keep going. They just every time I turn around, they making a plan for me. You know what I mean? And I'm greatly appreciative. I'm grateful. I'm humbled by the love. But me being 50, I'm like, damn, okay, 50 years old. I got one son. He's there. He's getting up there too. If I'm getting up there, he got to be right behind me. So, okay, like, what is it going to happen? What's going to happen for me when I'm 75, 80 years old and 85 years old? And then my lifestyle may alter, or might go a whole different route. May not be able to walk, may become dependent on certain situations. And, in reality, or in the ancient times, the children will take care of the elders, but I can't place dependency on my son to take care of me when he has a life to live. Like, so what am I going to do? So I need to, to become more conscious and to build a bed, to be able to build a foundation with me, to build a foundation with, the people that I'm around in a relationship or what have you. Like it's time for people to really buckle down and think about what the next 10, 20, 30 years going to consist of for them. Like, how is it that other people in other hues or other nationalities or other races been thinking about stuff like this for years, and very few of us, a sprinkle of us, we don't think about stuff like that. We're not educated to know.
Break, Like I said, I don't want to get into the racial thing, but I want to go there because you know why? Because this is, I ain't putting things on me, but I know everybody has this as a black person or a Latino. You know, when you see things on TV, when white people get in accidents, they you know, whatever. And you know, I'm not trying to downplay they situations. It's not traumatized, but they always keep their things going. Like, you know, they make you be feeling sorry for them and marginalize our situations that transpire in our neighborhood.
Our trauma looks evil.
Or not even that.
It looks demonic. It looks desolate. It looks like a war zone. It looks like it's more to them. Their trauma is tragic.
And we gotta be
our drama is like a fucking scary movie type shit.
But not only that, they just marginalize it. You know, I've been a victim of feeling sorry and sorrow when I see their trauma.
Taught that way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Indoctrinated, yo. We've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, however.
I mean, they always made movies to manipulate the mindset, to make you feel children, whoever. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people go to be above and beyond the call of duty to try to like self-medicate the situation, be it start drinking more, drugs, alcohol, partying, whatever they have to do to try to like subdue it or
to facilitate,
you know what I'm saying?
Make it easier to go away, but it's come right back and evolve. It's gonna get worse after
but
that,
it's
you know?
a lot of times people go through things in life and we don't know what they're going through. Never know.
Take the time out, and you know that.
You know what I'm saying? I had a conversation with someone, Rita Hurst. I had a conversation with her yesterday, a long conversation with her. And I appreciate that conversation. Big up to Rita Hurst.
Shout out to my girl Rita. Peace, where you at?
But I had a long conversation with her, and we built on a lot of stuff, and it was like real spill. But a lot of people really don't understand her. You know what I'm saying? Or other people that's in situations like that. There'd be other things that's going on in people's lives besides those situations. But you know, when we're friends, you do a lot of things that, what they call that, like, you know, nonchalant or
like
minuscule
or you know, like we do every day on the block. You know what I'm saying? Joking, you know what I mean?
Talk that talk, but then when a person get upset, like I done even been in situations where a person talked about me to somebody, and then when that person got it messed up with that person tried to come back and tell me what that person said, but I know the game already. Okay, they said that, but what did you say?
Furthermore,
because see, your ears was there listening. So if your ears was there listening, chances are your mouth was talking too. You dig what I'm saying? So what did you say? Because see, that person that was talking about me had a justifiable reason to be talking. What about you? You know what I mean? About me, because of a situation that happened between us. So I'm not mad at him for talking about me. But what were you saying?
Did they come to you as a mediator? You know, no.
Nah,
I ain't talking to you. I'm talking about the person that brought to you the bull crap about what such and such thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Did you
I'm just saying things just happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People don't know what the real deal. Like I can't, you know, but me being able to understand things, deal with the understanding. I went another channel to find out about this and that, and then found out what it was really about.
Yeah.
But then there was other stuff that took place. Oh, you all fell out. You know what I'm saying? So now here it is. You found the common ground to stand on. But lo and behold, I don't stand on that ground. I'm just walking by it.
I mean, Perry wrong.
You know what I mean? But dudes be scared.
I know they be scared to take that next step. But that lets you know about how they were. There you go again. When the smoke clears, you see who's really who.
Right.
Guys been insulated through other people that they have been around for a long time. Yeah. So you will see who the guys are. You know how like you might have known. I don't mean to veer off though.
No,
but it's pertaining to all of this. Because you know how you might see, you know, guys that you the women. Let's go to the women too.
Right.
You like my man way back then. You even got all the kids by him because he was around guys that you seen him around, but you didn't know he was an underling really.
Right.
But he's been so insulated through that crew that you say, I'm gonna get this one right here because he down here.
Right.
But now when the smoke clear, guess what? That leave a fake break was talking about. That's that same guy you got pregnant by that you got fired by now. Right. You didn't even know he was a sucker back then. Now you got kids by him. Now you're wounded. That's your fault.
Word.
Because you're dealing with the outerlings.
Yeah, the choice that you made.
I ain't blaming you, but that's
the choices that they made. Sometimes
you're reprehensible for that.
Word.
You left yourself wounded in that.
Word.
and scarf.
Yeah.
You look past me.
Yeah, but but that's real spill though. Like a lot of times, women pick was like popular. You know what I'm saying?
And the guys when they fall around.
The popularity means a lot. I mean, that's almost like second nature. People, you're gonna pick the thing that looks the best, the shiniest thing.
The most sought after woman, everybody go after the most sought after most sought after girl in high school and man, I don't shop with.
You know how many times? I mean, you can name off a slew of names of dudes that was the shit back in the '80s, but now they running around there, drunk, alcohol.
Not even that. They just running around there still trying to be, still trying to live off their past, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Right, they might have to still new cars and good things looking like that, but that's just a facade, though. Right. They gotta wear that mask away forever. Sometimes I ain't never had to wear no mask.
Sometimes you just be a shell of yourself, man. Sometimes you gotta make that leap of faith to make a change and make it happen. Stop being scared to make a better change for a better you. You know what I mean? Like people really open.
Damn, I'm talking about back then. Big difference. Now you couldn't even get in. Black. It was rare. Yeah, that you could be black and live in
behind the congestion. Now behind the congestion of the city, opposed to the town. When you're dealing with the town is more open. So the air is a little bit different. It's more trees.
It's more trees.
You know what I mean? Whereas that the city, there's not a lot of trees, and then
they dump everything in that.
And now you got these buildings, the top of buildings. Now you got different types of spices and smells coming out of windows and stuff like that. You know how that thing goes.
Yeah, that's what it led.
No, how you talk about all of that. Yeah. But, you know what I mean? But the big difference, how it was. You knew the gangsters. You knew the stick-up kids. You knew who was who. Now you don't know nobody. You don't even know if these dudes from this side of town or from that side of town, unless you beef it, like really got real issues with them. And then, because everything is the same. Everything is cliche. Everything is North Face, hoodie, sweatpants, boots, or now it's to the point where they're wearing real tight, the skinny jeans with the
blouse shirts almost looking like
the little skinny jeans with the hoodie and Crocs. Like, this is real. Like this is where it went now. The thugs is to the point where they're wearing Crocs, man. Outside. Hospital shoes, man. They wearing hospital shoes.
You know what? That's the way. Yo, can I tell you something, bro? That's like flip-flops almost. How could you want to be, and you got beef, why would you want to have yourself, like that's a violation for where I come from. I don't mean to veer off, but in jail, you wear your flip-flops in the day room in jail back,
Right.
That was a violation. Motherfucker like, yo, put your sneakers on, bro.
Right.
You never know when it's going to go down. Right. And that's why them Crocs, when I be like, look at y'all gangsters, y'all fighting out here, y'all got beef.
Comfortable.
You wearing the Crocs?
99% of the time.
You get what I'm saying?
Not even 99. That's giving up too much. But
I know.
80% of the time, they're riding around in cars anyway. So they're not really out. They're riding around in cars, and you know what it is from that point on. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no real worries. It ain't no real issues. They really don't have.
That's a big difference from where we come. Real big difference.
You couldn't. It was certain blocks you knew if you ride down or you come down.
The car getting brick.
Yeah, something gonna happen. But sneakers getting taken, the sheepdog getting taken. But you knew the difference. You knew who shot from J.C. Penney's.
At first, I think with you and I, and I think I was a little bit. I could say I was a little bit stern. What's the word I'm looking for? When I was with you. You don't know the word, but I'm gonna tell you this. And I learned how not to be like that. I guess I was an authoritarian. Being authoritative to your children is a lot better than being an authoritarian. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to distinguish the two. You gotta go into detail about that. Well, authoritative is like, willingly to not control your children, but there's a way that you do things when you're authoritative to make them obey and not, be afraid and having these harboring feelings about you like this, like me. Now, authoritarian is the opposite. It's like you being strict, ruler, controlling, outright. You know what I'm saying? Like a bully, like a Southern Slaughter, a wrestler. I think I was that with my children for a minute, and then I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? Get it back. I'm a rough. Go ahead.
This is what me and my dad do. We like to be playing fighting. It's be funny.
Be funny. Knocked me over one time. Remember that?
Oh, I put pushed him over the chair.
Yeah. But that's time. Time don't mean nothing unless it means something. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
What does time mean to a blade of grass? You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean? It just does what it do. What does it mean? But what you do with your time should be meaningful. You know what I'm saying? But that's over time. You have to grow and know what you need to know over time. So when you're dealing with people and the person do you dirty, they're gonna do you dirty because it ain't friendships around you. It's individual shit.
Yeah.
But if you got 10 motherfuckers around you back in the day, you know how we roll. We roll 10, 15, 20 deep. You know what I'm saying? So when you got those type of people around you, a person don't have no time to be fake. They can be fake when they get home and be on that G money shit, sniffing coke in
But with the conglomeration, you can't be like that. They're gonna pick you out the bunch.
Right.
What up,
so
yo?
yeah, dudes gonna pull your card. You know what I mean? So dudes didn't have, just like females, they didn't have that time to be able to be phony. But once you start dealing with people individually, now is a time and a chance for a person to chime in and be on that fake shit. So now that's when problems occur. But then they got the secret weapons because they know your business as well as you know theirs. But they probably been paying more attention to your business, or you probably been more, you know what I mean, on the downward side of having good luck. You know what I mean? So people,
I wouldn't even say love, I say fortune.
Fortune, but people kick dirt on you when you fall.
Yes, ready to.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pick you up, dusting you off, laughing behind your back, hugging you. You know what I'm saying? There now.
Adding on everything.
There now. Laughing.
With
You know
your
what I'm saying?
dagger right in your back.
Loving the fact that you fell on your face and bust your mouth open and knocked your teeth out. You know what I mean?
Hey, yo.
Love it.
Notice this. Because you're able to associates and allies doesn't mean that's your friend neither.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because, I'm a guy that, I can build with you, verbalize with you, socialize with you. That don't mean I'm your friend.
Right.
Let's not make that no mistake, though. You know what I mean? Because I used to have people that used to come through the block. Kick out the Henny. You jump out. You're not my friend. Or you're not my block boy. I drink your Henny. Get the fuck out of here. Get to that cell.
Right.
You got a friend to me? No, you don't.
Right. I mean, that belonged to the street. She may not be shit, but you chose her nevertheless. Now, you done had kids by her, but she might have had 2 or 3 kids by somebody else prior. I mean, you have to give a situation a chance to see if it can change. But as long as you're not giving a woman, you know what I mean, that information that she needs to know that she means something to you, of course she might belong to the streets. Of course she might go to that, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But go ahead,
But yeah, that goes back to the woman also. Like, the woman been so, scarred and wounded for so long, and feel as though they can take the carry the weight of a man, man, that they're also missing out when they do come across a good fella.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they might get the guy a shot, but I don't need you no more. Right. They're not even doing an evaluation like you just said about the men.
Right.
Dealing with a woman up the street, she might have had 2 kids, probably you knew that going in there. Right. But you chose not to deal with it because of that. But just like the wounded women, we understand that y'all had to play the parts of both parents because you had, men or boys that you came in contact with,
right,
and they were absent, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the reason was, there's no excuse for them being absent. They just shell of a men, right, you know what I'm saying? But therefore, don't give up, you know what I'm saying? Things will turn out best for you. Just give it a shot. Just because you've been wounded and scarred because of that happened, don't miss out on the opportunity if it comes. Just be, psychically, what's wrong? Psychologically aware. You know what I mean? Just don't dish out everything because you're wounded and your scars get in the way of things that transpired in your life. You know what I'm saying? That led you to be wounded because of the burdens that you had to endure with being a man of the house, not physically, but you know what I'm saying?
But that's what makes women the way they are.
Yeah,
that makes them bitter. But it passes on from generation to generation.
To the children.
Now you had, back in the 80s, you had mothers that still dealt with the old school 70s, 60s way of living. But then in the 80s, going into the 90s, when the drug game kicked in strong, now you got women, the homes are really broken. Because now the women probably not involved or around like how they were before, being the drug usage or being that they in the streets or in the clubs or what have you. But now as time goes on, as time progresses, women are becoming more aggressive. If you notice now, women are real aggressive, man. Women really, are aggressive, really, like,
For
and
a
the
long
men
while.
deal with it. I mean, I'm telling you, the testosterone game is
it's a
yo,
mother
I
level.
don't know if it's behind the food, how they shooting these animals up with all of this
It covers the
steroid.
whole, could be the whole gamut, break.
Because you know the steroid really makes
Plays
you
a major
angry.
part.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, what you eat.
Yeah, testosterone and
Estrogen,
and all that
androgen,
stuff. Yeah,
all of that.
So now the men is tapping into their estrogen. Now they becoming sensitive. Now they, you know, instead of them focusing on girls, man, they doing this stuff where they focusing on their homeboys all the time. And you know what I mean? Like they're not focusing on their kids. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. Word out. Times when people condone things, it can be right, it can be a good thing or a bad thing, but mostly it falls up under the bad
The negative from where we
right.
And it's continuing.
Right.
And continuous
and the reason why this is a conversation, because we dealing with kids nowadays that's coming up. You have kids that really don't have to ask permission to do anything. The parents more or less is like almost like a unwritten rule. It's like they condone a lot of things. You know, you have kids back in the day. It was structure. It was, man, you knew you had to be in the house before the street lights came on, or when the street lights came on.
You had to take them
You know what I mean?
clothes
You
off.
knew that when you come home from school, you had to take your clothes off when you come home from school. I mean, because back then it wasn't a lot of money, even though it was money, but it wasn't a lot of money in the homes. Now, people live like they have a lot of money, and it's still not a lot of money in the homes, but they still make it seem more believable because of fashion. And you know, everybody has a car now. You know, back then it was probably, you know, they'd say it was probably an average of 0.5 car, maybe one car or 1.5 car, like a car and a motorcycle or scooter or something of that nature. Now, in the household, you might have 6 people in the house, and it might be 5 cars in the yard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody living well beyond their means. When you live like that, you be more lenient to a lot of situations, and a lot of times kids be able to do things that they normally from our normalcy, we wouldn't let them do, or wouldn't have let them have done. You know what I mean?
At all.
So, you know, a lot of people do condone a lot of things. Kids don't really ask for permission. You know, you couldn't run in the house and go in the refrigerator
And run right back outside.
Yeah, then go back outside.
Without getting stopped. Yo, what the?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's just
None of that stuff. But you know, once children mindset becomes that, then as they get older, if they don't have no permission to do things in the house, makes you think they're gonna want permission to do things out in the street. A lot of times people gonna do what they want. They don't mind. They don't have a problem doing the things that they want. So now that's when the trouble becomes. But then when it becomes a problem, when the kids get in trouble, are you that
motherfucker, pardon me, person to give you that, you want to be the leader, you want to be the leader, and they didn't let you in the, nobody wanted. That's like at their job. Said like, you know, I've seen this happen too. Nobody wants this position, but you want to be the leader. They give you the position, and now it comes with everything. Now you're like, what the fuck, yo?
Word.
I wanted to be the leader, but I didn't know that's why nobody took that position.
Word.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't set yourself up. Hey, you've been hoodwinked, basically.
Yeah.
But you didn't put yourself out there. I want to be the leader. I take the supervisor position. But you didn't think about why. Damn, such and such ain't take that position. He passed it over. But you so much in tune with want to be the leader, and you let yourself into something that you couldn't get yourself out of.
Yeah, it be like that.
Yeah.
And it always be the person, when you think about the job situations and how you have, most times when you have supervisors or your leaders or, the crew leaders or whatever,
Yeah.
they usually be assholes. And you usually, just say like if
Not
you're
just assholes.
just say if you're working in the warehouse, it's always going to be that supervisor that nobody likes. But the job be so simple,
Yo.
and it makes it easier for them to portray a leader, but there's nothing to it.
And you a brother. The sad part about it is what you just said. Nobody likes that person. That person is a good person. And then you go. I've met guys that was supervising me. Probably went to their houses. They so weak.
Yeah.
I've seen it many a times. Like soft as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's the insecurity.
But he put that facade on.
Right. Because he got a chance to be in a position. He or she got a chance to be in that position, and then they're gonna stick their chest out too far. Some people be looking. You know how a lot of times I know you have heard of this before too. Like a lot of dudes become like COs or cops or whatever because they was bullied in school and all that stuff like that, and then now they got that leadership role or whatever. Like now they abuse their power.
I'm gonna keep them niggas.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people have to, like, I don't know how things can be taught, but a lot of times things be taught foul. And it's not all police officers, it's not all COs
no.
that's on it, that's bad or messed up or, don't do things right. We just talking about the ones that do take advantage of having that leadership role, and then they abuse their power.
And for some strange reason, and like you said, it might not even be a vast majority of them, but the smart ones that are like that cover the whole gamut, making it seem like everybody is like that. You know what I mean? It might be a small percentage of, like you just said, the COs, the police is that we didn't like, that was an asshole because of that. Might be a small percentage, but that small percentage made you think that they all was like that. And that's a sad thing, though.
And it be like that, though.
Yeah.
That one bad apple spoil a bunch.
A whole bunch of girls, yeah. But yo, being the leader,
good leader,
underline that one.
To me, you have his distinctive qualities.
Yeah, inspiration.
Everybody not gonna like you because you have to be stern, you have to be firm, you have to be about that life.
And adhere to what you're talking about.
But when you do your job right, when you do it on point, you expect everybody to be like that. And if you can't accept being a good follower, you are definitely not going to be a good leader.
Because I know what you're going to do. You're going to oppose me right down the line.
But everything that I do, and then because you want that spot. But as soon as you get that spot, you're going to be just like I am. So the stern.
Another thing is like, catching phrases is crazy nowadays. Yeah. People just use things loosely. But I get to the literal point of it all, okay? Like the catchphrase, no new friends. No new friends. Well, I have new friends, and I have no problem with that. So you know why I have new friends? Because they came along, whether it was from the job or whether it's from incarceration, however. But before I made this person my new friend, it was a trials that we had to go through. He had to go through for me to put him in that category, or he or she in that category. Right. I mean, I don't befriend easy, so I don't have a lot of friends. Right. You understand? Right. I'm real standoffish, but I will give you, I will chop it up with you, socialize, verbalize, you understand? Bring it like to a still picture. That's what I do. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you got to know how to demarcate that, your friend and your associate. Like my man said, everybody's a friend to everybody. Right. Everybody be jumping ship, you know what I'm saying? I see a lot of movies. And so that's why I say new friends. You talking about no new friends, but you friends with everybody. Right. Somebody come along, hey girl, hey homeboy, that's my guy. That's, you know what I'm saying? Why? Because me, every single drink that swing through the infantry back in the day wasn't my man because we mingle. Right. You understand? Right. Fathom. Right. Get that shit right, y'all. Stop hopping on the bandwagon about things. People ain't your friends. I don't know. No. You could be cool. People could be cool. Like my guys that I grew up with from the block. Now that I figured that we wasn't really friends. We were just cool. I had to learn that as time progressed. Right. You understand? Right. Like I said, it's my confidant, right? It's my trusted pal. Always have been. No matter what, he never judged me. No matter what situation I was in. And you know what I'm saying? Getting back to us, I could put, times that when I used to be a wild gremlin, on the block, my man smooth kid. You understand? But nevertheless, people probably used to go there and go, whatever you going on, you did that, did the third. Man, home never backed up and be like, man, I don't mess with home like that. But I have guys that have done that I thought was my friend on the block. You understand? Right. But my guy right here, man, home, I talk to you, whatever. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's my friend. He's a pal and a confidant. Thank you for being a friend. We'll shoot back on you.
Yeah, I mean that's learned behavior over time. That's an art that's been lost, and is an art that's been taught. You know what I mean? Sandbox stuff. You learn how to be people friends over time. Sometimes you have a connection. More times than not, you may have a connection with somebody, and the connection going to be long term. It's not going to be something that's short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like over time, things always clean itself up. You know what they say, the streets always clean itself up.
Smoke clears.
Things gonna always clean itself up.
Or, you know, pretending that they watch our shit all the way live, but they being imperative, but they want to be on our podcast. What you want to be on a podcast for? First of all, furthermore, you understand?
Right.
But what about the other guy? You know how the situation, right? Break. It's funny. The Pretender, right? The Great Pretender one day, right? I was in the cypher one day, right? Not too long ago. Shows the Great Pretender next to me. We talk. We chopping it up, whatever. Show. We talking. I'm not about to tell him about our podcast because I'm not doing that. I'm illustrious. You know what time it is, and he filling me out to see when I'm going to say about my podcast. Somebody else coming, a third party coming. Hey, yo, how the podcast doing? So now the Great Pretender like, oh shit, you got a podcast? I heard about it. I was going to ask you. When was you going to ask me? I don't care about if you ask me or not, but don't sit over here and try to beat around the bush and be the Great Pretender like you don't know what's going on. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Great Pretender.
I mean, that all depends on, you know, some people don't really want to pry. I mean,
It
it
ain't
all
about the
depends on
pride.
the person, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I know that's what I'm saying. This person,
If
this
who
particular
that
person,
is, yeah.
you know what I'm saying, fishing, waiting for me to say something. I'm not going to say anything, yo. You know what I mean? Of course y'all keep your eyes upon me and my man.
Well, what do you think about
The Great Pretender.
people coming to you, asking you about coming to your podcast?
Let me tell you what I think about that. You come to this podcast and you want to be interviewed. What do you think the interview is going to be about? It's going to get gory. You have to be ready for us to ask you questions like, yo, is it true that, 8 years ago in Carl Robinson somewhere, I'm just making an analogy that
Right.
when a riot broke out, you told everybody forgot about that. Extra stuff like that. But you want to be on a podcast. We gotta talk about stuff like that to get to your success now.
Where
It's part of your life. I'm not trying to land base you on anything, but it just gotta comes out. You ready to be over here, right? Just like a jump off chick who's a grown woman now. She bungee jumped. She was promiscuous in her day.
Right.
Come over here and sit on this podcast. We're gonna, we might not crack that can open, but it might get cracked open. Are you ready for that?
And then you're just talking about just random people.
Yeah.
You're not talking about people that might have a business going or might have like really changed their lives. Been in a bad situation, real bad, and then they through adversity they came out and now they have a random people.